how it goes. Hi, I just want to thank everyone for coming back again to Sarita Talks. Once more, we've got some rock stars, and more rock stars, because that's what this show's about. If you're doing something good and you got a mission and you got a purpose, hey, get a hold of me. Brad Young, Tiger Town Home Improvement. That's a mouthful. Deanna Barger from
Missouri Girls Town.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So the show today is about Missouri Girls Town, but we got Brad on here because he's doing some awesome things too. So if you don't know about Missouri Girls Town, Deanna, tell us about, it's mind blowing the things that, people can tap into and help out or that they don't even know exist. So Missouri Girls Town.
Yeah, so I was introduced to Missouri Girls Town about 2.5 years ago when I saw the director of development position pop up. I applied for it, and when I went out to interview for that job, I was really just taken aback by the gorgeous campus that we have out there in Kingdom City. So we've got 23 acres of rolling farmland. We've got 12 buildings on our campus, which is expensive, as any homeowners know. Like, taking care of your home and keeping it looking good is quite a feat. So we're definitely in full fundraising mode, which brings us to our Happy Hour for Hope event to support our programming out at Girls Town. So what we do at Girls Town is we're a residential treatment facility. So we treat kids from the foster care system. We're just one placement in the foster care system, but we are really a turning point for a lot of youth in need. The youth that we serve have typically been through 9 field placements before coming to our campus. And with that comes a lot of trauma, lack of trust. I can't trust you to take care of me even when I act up and talk back and that kind of stuff. Yeah. So just
and let me just,
which is normal teenager stuff.
Absolutely. But there's children there that are as young as 8 years old. Is that correct?
We're licensed to serve all the way down from 8 to 21. When they turn 21, they do need to be exiting.
Absolutely. And you know what? By then they should have the skills. And I believe they will, because you've got some excellent programming. But I just wanted to touch on, you said they've already probably been through 9 different placements. So I want you to put yourself in the mind of a small child. You're maybe 10 years old. And now you're not with your family. So you have a bag of your things and you're going to the first place and it doesn't work out. So then you and your things in your 10-year-old body go to the second place and it doesn't work out. And then the third and the fourth. And in my mind, when I think of kids that are going to these placements, all they have are themselves and whatever they brought with them. So when they get to Missouri Girls Town, I know we had a conversation about how important it is to have dressers and furniture and things, and that they know that they're stable. Can you speak to that a bit? Stability?
Yeah. So as far as providing a stable living environment for the youth that we serve, a lot of them come from very desperate, impoverished situations. Some of them might not have had their own bed ever before. So having their own bed, having their own room, having a dresser to put their belongings in, to know that they've got a little bit of stability and that they're not just going to get kicked out.
That this is a safe space for them. And it really makes me happy too, to know that when they're there, and these are some of your needs, correct? For them to, have this stability and dressers and their own space. But, it's just so awesome that you notice that there's a lot of trauma. And I like the fact that you address that. Brad, we're going to get to you. Don't you worry.
Okay. Don't go anywhere.
Don't go anywhere.
So our program is a trauma-informed certified program. Nice. We are a qualified residential treatment program by the state of Missouri, and we're accredited. So we really have 3 layers to really show that we are doing the right things so that we can provide really good care to our kids, which I think I'm just going to go ahead.
There we go, Brad.
Here,
there we go.
Here's your chance. So Brad, we attended our patrons breakfast event to support Missouri Girls Town back in April.
Yeah.
Sarita was our guest speaker at that event. Our keynote
What a pleasure.
speaker.
What a pleasure. Yeah.
And
very moving
and
speech.
Brad, just tell us a little bit about how you got involved with us.
Well, that was my reintroduction to the Missouri Girls Town, was your fundraising breakfast. And that was an amazing event. It was very emotional for me because it brought up a lot of the memories from whenever my wife and I had a foster child that was at Missouri Girls Town. And she'd had a very rough upbringing that, like you described just a minute ago. And luckily, her path led through Missouri Girls Town, and it changed her life. We went over there and visited her several times and saw the facilities and really got to experience what y'all do over there. And it absolutely life-changing for her. And my wife and I, we were just amazed at what you guys could do over there. She had been in and out of multiple foster homes, including ours, just because she had problems controlling her emotions, and you guys turned everything around for her. She ended up getting her high school diploma. Now she's working on her nursing degree, and has just an absolutely wonderful life. Has her driver's license and her own car.
Absolutely.
So she's on the right path.
Brad, when you saw all of somebody put the care on there. Let's see if we can see who it is. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We see you, Hassan. We see you. And I just appreciate everybody who takes the time to, and you can also throw something in the chat if you want to. If you got a question you want to answer, I'm going to go ahead and pull up the chat, see who else is on there. We got a little thumbs up. Just want to give a shout out to just everyone who's paying attention and realizes this is super important work. So Brad, you realized that the work was so important that you put your money where your mouth is, and your sponsor, correct?
Yeah. One of the things I told Deanna was that this kind of support for her organization is what makes it worth getting up and going to work every day. I love what I do. I love helping people improve their houses. Kitchen and bathroom remodels is what we do. But one of the best parts about the money, the revenue that we bring in, is to be able to spend it helping other people, improve their lives. And Missouri Girls Town is definitely one of our favorite places to sponsor and do that.
Well, so I just love it. I love it.
And we appreciate your support.
Yeah, and continue the relationship. Now, this whole time we've been talking about these great programs. We've been talking about Missouri Girls Town. They've got Happy Hour for Hope coming up. And we've been talking about this job that is more than a job. It's a way in which you're able to give back and do something that you love. Where can we find you on social media?
If you go to Instagram or to Facebook, it's at Tigertown HI. That's an Instagram and Facebook handle. And then if you go to the World Wide Web, it's www.tigertownhi.com.
Good. I'm glad we got that out there. So Tigertown HI. How do we find out about Missouri Girls Town? More importantly, how do we donate?
Yeah, so to support Missouri Girls Town, donations are absolutely essential. So you can make that donation by going to mogirlstown.org and clicking on the donate tab.
Yeah.
But what Brad and I are here to help spread the word about is our Happy Hour for Hope fundraising event.
Exactly.
Yes,
now tell us what's going on there, because Happy Hour, I don't know what to think, but guess what? Let's go ahead and tell us more about it.
Yeah, so Happy Hour for Hope is our premier fundraising event. It's kind of our take on a gala. We actually haven't been, we've been around for over 65 years, and this is our third time doing Happy Hour for Hope. But prior to that, we hadn't done any major fundraising events like this before. We're really excited to give a high level experience to our donors and to our supporters. Tickets for the event are $75 and can be purchased online. The event will feature a a silent auction, which will run online for 1 week prior to the event.
Oh, that's nice.
Starting midnight on September 12th. You can get up on there and view all of our silent auction items. We'll have over 40 to help raise money for us. And thank you so much to all of our supporters who pitched in those items so that we could fundraise. The live auction is my favorite because somebody's going to get to go to Cancun.
What? $75 ticket.
I'm bidding on that.
Yeah.
So yes, somebody will go home with a trip for up to four in Cancun, Mexico. Sunset
Nice
resort. It's absolutely stunning. One of our donors won it last year, and she just, I mean, she's speechless. She just didn't have any words for just the incredible trip that she got to take and support
question,
kids.
Deanna.
Yeah.
Can it be two people twice? That's what I'm
Ooh.
I'll connect you with the donor.
Well, let me tell you, last year I was unable to attend, but my mentor was. Unfortunately, he's since passed away. His name was David Strumpf. And I talk about him a lot because his heart was just so big, and he took me under his wing and gave me all sage wisdom that I didn't know I wasn't going to have for long. He could not stop talking about Missouri Girls Town and how important it was. And he wanted to make sure that people could get the therapy that they needed. And I feel like Brad and Deanna, you both spoke to how important therapy is for these young ladies as they're navigating through these systems and as they're navigating through life. So another thing that David had always told me is the circle of excellence. So the circle of excellence is Brad, is Deanna. It is people who are generally.
It's you.
Oh, thanks. Thanks. It's hard for me to even talk about him because he told me so many things and they were just life-changing and they continue to resonate with me. But what was said at the donor, what was the event that you had at Cooper's Ridge, I think?
Oh, Happy Hour for Hope. Yeah.
The last, and is that where you're having it? We need a venue.
Yeah.
Okay. In Boonville, Cooper's Ridge event. And tell us the date.
September 19th. It's a Thursday.
Okay. And what time?
Doors are opening at 5:30, and we're going to try to get everybody out of there by 7, but we'll have a s'more bar. And so we'll be encouraging folks to stick around, give s'more hope after the event.
S'more hope. Happy Hour for Hope. So we had to get all that out before. And let me just circle back to this man, put his heart and his wallet out for Missouri Girls Town. And I want everybody to do the same. $75 for a chance to win a trip to Cancun. Also, here's the thing. You paid $75 to go. You're going to have a great time. Whatever you were thinking about giving on top of that, double it, triple it, and really think about how the impact of putting a little money towards something can resonate in so many lives. You said 12 buildings. How many women are there or young ladies are there at this moment, or a rough amount? How many are you helping?
Yeah, we've got about 10 kids at our campus right now, which seems pretty light. But we're getting ready to see more kids come through our gates with the school season. Yeah. So students are getting back into the classroom, and teachers are really, they are a first line of, of security for a lot. They notice, they pick up on things. They notice, hey, so-and-so's maybe coming to school with dirty clothes, is not keeping up with their hygiene. Are they hungry? Are they distracted? Maybe they're so distracted because they're hungry. Yeah. And
or they're tired. Someone's been up all night on drugs, or someone's been up all night arguing and yelling, and they're afraid. They're afraid they're next.
Couch surfing.
From place to place. Yeah. Or homeless living in a car. So that's important you brought that up. And I really want the audience to reflect on that school season brings more kids to the system, to family services, because you have to go and imagine the mindset of these young people. How do you think they feel when they get to Missouri Girls Town and they're settled in. Have you seen any? Tell us a little bit about that change and when
Yeah,
and
it's
what it
like
looks like.
it's literally like seeing a light bulb go off with a lot of these kids, or turn on,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
It's like learning how to communicate with people, learning to tell people what your needs are when you've never been able to do that without, starting a fight or something like that.
yeah.
Being able to speak up for yourself and say, hey, I could really use a snack. Snacks are unlimited at Missouri
Oh,
Town.
right.
Our kids, a lot of them have dealt with food insecurity, have a
Mhm.
history of that. So we have an open fridge policy. You just need to learn how to ask to
Oh,
go and get into the fridge. It's
yeah.
practicing asking and letting us take
Mhm.
care of you.
I love it. I love it. And I also love the fact that food insecurity is being addressed in a population that people don't think that, hey, if you're a little kid, just say, hey, I want something to eat. But if you're not used to being able to actually get it when you express that, that's powerful. And Brad, you touched on some behavioral issues with the young lady who you came into
Mhm.
contact with, and she was flourishing, correct, when you saw her?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, she still is to this day. I mean, it was pretty rough out of the get-go.
Yeah.
I don't know how much depth I can go into that, but she the very first night that she was at our house, she attempted suicide,
Oh,
and so we had to go to take her to the emergency room, and that was pretty rough evening. And from there, it was, she had to go to a psych facility, and then it was on to the next place and on to the next place, and she kept getting into trouble, and finally it was to Missouri Girls Town, and that's what changed everything. It was
absolutely.
she I think it was, they had to break the ice with her. They had to kinda warm up to her, and she had to warm up to them, and then, a couple weeks in, we started noticing a big difference in her attitude. You started to see the light glowing in her eyes,
Yeah.
and she really became a person I don't think she'd ever been in her entire life,
And
and
these
like
behaviors are
that
kind of
sense of
normal.
safety.
Aren't they? I mean, it's sad, but bad behavior is probably symptomatic of this trauma, correct?
Yeah, I would say
Well,
so.
not so much bad, but negative behavior or acting out is pretty much symptomatic.
Yeah, well,
So
Deanna can speak more to that.
yeah, and she hates it when I say, you know what? I was just raised at Sarita, you're being bad, so I don't have the right verbiage. But do you understand? You understand where I'm coming from? That sometimes it's
Yeah.
systematic that I might act out because
Learned
I
behaviors.
don't know how to express myself. And you teach people, or Missouri Girls Town is teaching folks how to express themselves. Would you agree?
Yeah. I mean, they're learning how to have interactions with people that are respectful and considerate.
Yes, yes.
And it's, I mean, it seems just so basic, but learning also what your emotions are and um what physical things that different emotions can bring,
Right.
and getting a harness on those emotions and how to express those in a safe, acceptable
Yeah,
way.
yeah. And if you haven't been taught, then you don't know.
You don't
If
know,
you
and it's
don't know,
being
then
modeled by their parents, or
yeah.
if they're in foster homes and just getting bounced around, like they're they're not going to have that. Hey, I'm really excited to be your friend. It's,
Aw.
oh, I got to not screw up or I'm going to get kicked out. It's
Yeah.
that fear.
Yeah, and you know what? I can attest to that. I can attest to being afraid that I wouldn't be accepted. So, and I feel like a lot of these young people are going through the same thing. Brad, Tiger Town HI is how we find you. And tell
Yep,
us about your
.com.
sponsorship. And then, Deanna, maybe you can touch on how important this fundraising is.
My sponsorship is for the Happy Hour for Hope is the silver sponsorship,
Yeah.
and I'm not sure what all exactly information you want from me on as far as the sponsorship
Well,
goes, but we're just happy to play a part in making this happen, this Happy Hour for Hope.
That's
on my
right.
birthday, September the 19th, from 5:30 till 7 p.m. I can't tell you how excited. I can't think of a better way to spend my birthday than
Yeah.
with this happy hour. I'm
Nice.
thrilled.
He's our honorary birthday boy. And well, actually, there's going to be another birthday boy there too.
Good.
So we might just need to sing.
Okay. And who's that other
I
person?
like it.
It's Carrie Haskamp's husband.
All right. And guess what? She's awesome
Right.
too. Maybe she'll come on and tell us a little bit about banking because we've learned about banking too. But it's so important when we have interviews like this. Brad, I'm so grateful and thankful to have people like you in our community that realize the importance of things like this, that are willing to fund things like this. Tell us one more time. It's going to be September 19th. It's going to be from 5 to 7:30 at Cooper's Ridge Event Venue. Please come out and support. Deanna, you want to tell us anything to wrap it up?
We're going to have some pretty great 50/50s and a chance to go home with some great prizes and support kids.
Yes, and we really want to thank the 40 people who are, or excuse me, the 40 things that you're going to put up for auction.
Yeah.
Did they all come from different sources?
Oh, all over the place.
Wonderful.
All over the place. It takes the village, and our village showed up.
Well, thank you, Brad. Thank you, Deanna.
Thank you.
Please come back on. Tell us more.